What is going on, everybody? I'm here with an article from Jorge, Bounding into Comics, about Ezra Miller. I know everyone's been talking about this, so I've decided today to take a new spin on this. A lot of Ezra Miller and Amber Heard news. There's a common thread, and it's not just limited to Hollywood personalities. It involves any type of personality that acquires some amount of fame, or some amount of prestigious notoriety, and lets it go to their head. So Ezra Miller, Ezra Miller got caught choking a bitch out.
Learn it? Did you want to fight? Is that the deal? Whoa, bro. Fight?
And there's more to it. I'm not going to read the entire article. Please go to Bounding into Comics and check out this article by Jorge. Hail, brother. But it says a video showing Ezra Miller choking a woman did actually take place. Variety reports they confirmed the incident and detailed it took place around 6 p.m. on April 1st at Stig. Can you read that for me? Variety reports Miller was escorted off the premises following the incident.
Learn it? Did you want to fight? Is that the deal? Whoa, bro. Fight?
Yes, this is the stunning and brave individual who beat up a girl at a club. This is the guy. This is a man. And I have to say that by definition. I have to state that this is male. I have to state in today's society that this is a man. Well, it's male, and it likes to beat up its fans.
Learn it? Did you want to fight? Is that the deal? Whoa, bro. Fight?
So there's a screenshot that was exposed by one of the people who was actually there, which is good, because evidence is good. And it says, okay, so I'm exposing Ezra Miller because he just attacked my friend at the bar after she jokingly challenged him to a fight. He took it way too seriously and choke-slammed her to the ground. Not okay. This is by Kaylee Lamp. No, that's not okay. The Sentry tweeted out, this is awkward. Why is he grabbing her by the throat and taking her to the ground? Why is she play fighting with an actor while in Iceland? Why is he wearing sandals in the snow? Hollyweird? And Groove Lips replies, because he's a effing psycho, and spit on me and two other staff members after the fact multiple times. He was showing his scars from all the fights he'd been in. Showing his scars from all the fights he's been in. And said that I could beat you up.
Learn it? Did you want to fight? Is that the deal? Whoa, bro. Fight?
Because he's obviously a moron. After my friend and I threw him off he was standing barefoot outside for at least 10 minutes while the bouncers waited for the cops to pick him up. Oh, this is our new Flash. He's great. He's the guy that puts on dresses. That is your Flash. And if you have a problem with it, then you are a phobe and an ist.
Learn it? Did you want to fight? Is that the deal?
And he can go make all the comments he wants about progression and activism, whatever the hell he wants to talk about. Image has been presented to the public. This image in today's society. That oh gods. The words just choke my throat like Ezra around a fan, around someone when he's showing them his battle scars from his gay childhood. I have no problem with a gay dude being gay. I have no problem with a dude wearing a dress. You do you, boo. You do you. But while you've been virtue signaling and flying your weird flag and having a great time, you have been presenting a false image of yourself. A false image. The public image, the one that is on DC as the Flash. That's a false image. That's not the real person. The real person was at a club in Iceland, showing off his battle scars and beating up on girls. That's the real person. The common thread that I want to make in this video is, if you're a snake, if you're a bad person, if you act in a bad way toward people, if you do not accept responsibility for yourself, if you project an image that is false, that is contrary to who you are, eventually you're going to get caught. The next subject on this list is Amber Heard. Holy shit, is she hot? I don't care what anyone says. Amber Heard is hot. That is the face of a woman who hates her father. And we all know that the best for JJ comes with daddy issues. Amber Heard is also batshit crazy. And if we look at this happy couple from I don't know how long ago, and the aging that has taken place on Johnny Depp, that says it all. That says it all. Look at the aging on this man. You can go to Yellow Flash. Go to That Umbrella Guy. They did a couple of videos. Those are the only videos on the latest updates that I have that I've watched. Go to Yellow Flash first, and then go to Tug, because there was a deposition put forth by someone who has been around this situation and has seen the characters in their natural environment, and by characters I mean Johnny Depp and Amber Heard in their home, and has been around to see how they treat one another and what's going on. In this case, you had an older dude who has money and wealth and a degree of power, and he saw a hot young actress and scooped her up like he has done his whole life. I would expect that Johnny Depp is the type of dude who isn't used to not having his ass kicked, because he's probably had his ass kissed for the last 20, 30 years. And whatever. I've enjoyed Johnny Depp. I've never really heard anything reckless come out of his mouth. And as a matter of fact, I've only really ever seen him doing nice things in public. So I have no real problem with Johnny Depp. Amber Heard, she's hot. She can still get it. I just wouldn't tell her my real name. That's all. Amber Heard is a manipulator, and now she's being exposed. When all this first came out, there were those of us like myself, there and other people, I'm sure, that the story didn't sound right. Johnny Depp's an abuser. Johnny Depp. I'm sorry. If I saw Depp at a bar, I would not be intimidated. I just wouldn't. And I'm not saying anything bad about the man, but I wouldn't be intimidated. Like I wouldn't be intimidated to Ezra Miller in a dress for a different reason, but I wouldn't be intimidated. Amber puts up all these stories, and for years, Johnny Depp's damn near getting canceled. All right, because of cancel culture and the Me Too movement and all this bullshit, and the fact that it's like a natural default setting for society, for people, that when you see a domestic situation between a man and a woman, that the woman is the victim. It's almost natural for us to assume. So when you encounter this situation, Depp is the aggressor and she is the victim, and now we're finding out years later that no, he's the victim. He's the victim. She was taking dumps in his bed, cutting off parts of his body, his finger, treating him like garbage, being manipulative, treating his family like garbage, treating friends like garbage. And now it's all coming out. Now this manipulative bitch is finally being exposed for what she truly is. And that's a good thing. In both of these cases, we have people who presented a certain image. Ezra Miller presented a certain image. Amber Heard presented a certain image. Both of these images are false. These were not good people. Ezra Miller's out there choking fans. Amber Heard is a domestic abuser of the most erroneous order. People that are snakes, people that are disingenuous, will always get exposed. Always. There is a difference between having an online personality, presenting yourself in a certain way, to make videos on YouTube, for instance. Let's use something I'm familiar with. And presenting yourself false. A lot of times when I'm on live streams, when I'm making videos, when I'm doing those kinds of things, I present an ego. I accentuate certain parts of myself, but I'm in no way being false. I'm being bombastic. I'm just showing different aspects of who I am and accentuating them as a decent a representation of who I am as a person as I can get while still being entertaining. But there are people who get money, wealth, or fame, who get a measure of success, who get into the public eye, and present themselves disingenuously. They create an entirely different character of themselves. And I'm not talking about people who create a character and present a character. I'm talking about people who present themselves. And if I were, for instance, if I were going to do something like that, if I were going to re-image myself and present it to you, then I would act as though I'm a Trump supporter. I would be all of the things that I think the audience would want to see, that would boost my views and my legend, so to speak, to other people. But I don't do that. I'm true to myself. I'm just a little bit louder and prouder and and in different ways, extend my ego when I'm working online. But there are people who present themselves falsely. There are people that smile to your face and stab you in the back. There are people like that don't present themselves as they truly are. Like like Ezra, right? He's all about rights and protecting the woke narrative. Yet he's choking women out in Iceland. It's probably not the first time. It's probably the first time he's been filmed doing it, and we'll find out in the future. But and people like Amber Heard, who presents herself in a certain way and then gets exposed for the batshit lunatic that she is, the domestic abuser that she is. Now, the thing about this is that there are people who have been around these individuals, have been for a long time, probably haven't spoken up because they're connected to them in some way. They make money from them in some way. There's some kind of a connection that they can't talk about the true characteristics of these individuals. They have to stay quiet. But the thing is when an outing happens, like it's happened to Ezra, like what's happening with Amber Heard, when they fall, all those people that have kept quiet, they're going to speak up. All of them. Guarantee it. They're going to just say, hey, I knew she was like that. I saw this, this, and this. And that's what snakes have to look out for. There are people in your life, in my life, in everyone's life, you're going to run into that are snakes, that are disingenuous, that present themselves falsely. And when they get caught, they may show their true colors to you. They may turn on you. They may threaten you. They may try to blackmail you. They may try to do anything that they can to protect their image, as we have seen Amber Heard do. This has been her MO. She's a very disingenuous person, presented herself falsely. She just wants to stay famous and hot and keep making money. And if anything threatens that, like her abuse of her husband, her abuse of a man, then she has threatened him, and she will stay the course. And there are probably those around her that no matter what evidence comes forth, will still back up her narrative of victimhood. That's going to happen. And that's going to happen with these disingenuous people that you run into in your life. You just got to remember, snakes expose themselves eventually. Disingenuous people eventually get exposed, because that type of personality will always leave destruction in their wake, leave betrayal in their wake. There's always clues to who a person is when they're trying to hide their true nature. There's always clues. There's always evidence to support the type of person that they really are. And that is what we're finding out with people like Ezra, but more to the point, Amber Heard. So pay attention to the clues, pay attention to the evidence, and whenever you suspect a snake has come into your social circle, look around and maybe take note of who ain't hanging out no more. They usually have the right story. Wash your hands, wash your ass, be good to one another. Peace.